relevant to the questions that have been asked. You must stick to the demands of the question. That means you have picked a question and you know the question to the letter. You know the answer that you're going to give to that question without deviating. That is the content of the question you are answering. And then we have the next one, which is called the organization. For organization, for you to score high marks, you must be able to have your answer to be what it is intended to be. If your answer is a story, it must be a story. If it's a letter, it's an article, if it's a speech, if it's a debate, it must be intended for such purposes. So that when you are writing, those features must be able to state clearly that this is an article, this is a letter, or this is a speech. Your introduction must be suitable for good use of paragraphs, and a suitable conclusion. Remember, as the examiner is marking, he's looking at all these things from the books. And welcome once again to my channel. In this video, I'll take you through the step-by-step techniques of how to answer essay questions in WAEC, NECO, and NABTEB. For your essay questions, you have to write nothing less than 450 words. Nothing less than 450 words. That is the number stipulated by WAEC. From the table above, you can determine the number of lines that will give you the 450 words after we have determined the number of words that you have per line. If you look at the table, since you already know the number of words you have per line, you now look at the number of lines that corresponds to the number of words you have per line, and that determines your 450 words. That done, we are now going to look at the questions. Now you pick the question that you want to answer. When this question is picked by you, outline your points, which you will now develop into the body of your essay. Outline the points somewhere in your answer booklet. When you outline those points, you are now going to develop those points that you will now put down in your essay in paragraphs. Your essay must be well planned, with an introduction, a body, and a conclusion. When they say introduction, it's very important. The introductory paragraph must be captivating, must be overwhelming enough to arrest the attention of the examiner, to make him or her want to continue reading your essay. After doing that, those points you outlined, you are now going to develop them and arrange them in sequential order in the different paragraphs. And then you must give a convincing conclusion. Remember, many of you are going to write the essays, and there is a guideline to mark these essays. And so you must follow these things, instructions to the letter, so that your essay comes out in a beautiful form that will earn you very high scores. These essay questions are from different topics with its own format or features, which you should also take into consideration. It can either be a letter, a speech, an article, a story, etc. So your essay must have the features of your chosen topic. And also remember that these essays are going to be marked under 4 headings, namely content, organization, expression, and mechanical accuracy. The table below will serve as a guide on how marks will be are located. So as examiners are marking your scripts, they are not going to be looking for your content. They are not going to say, okay, as I'm writing my essay, this is my content. No. Content means that you are able to present your ideas relevant to the questions that have been asked. You must stick to the demands of the question. That means you have picked a question and you know the question to the letter. You know the answer that you're going to give to that question without deviating. That is the content of the question you are answering. And then we have the next one, which is called the organization. For organization, for you to score high marks, you must be able to have your answer to be what it is intended to be. If your answer is a story, it must be a story. If it's a letter, it's an article, if it's a speech, if it's a debate, it must be intended for such purposes. So that when you are writing, those features must be able to state clearly that this is an article, this is a letter, or this is a speech. Your introduction must be suitable for good use of paragraphs, and a suitable conclusion. Remember, as the examiner is marking, he's looking at all these things from the body of your essay. The next one is the expression. Expression carries the highest mark. For expression, you must have a good command of English, because those are the things the examiners will be looking out for. Use clear expression. Use the right vocabulary. And use your figurative language very well. The next one is the mechanical accuracy. When it comes to mechanical accuracy, candidates lose marks here. So you must avoid things that will make you lose marks. You must avoid grammatical errors. You must avoid spelling errors. You must avoid punctuation errors. For grammatical errors, wrong usage of preposition, misuse of countable or uncountable nouns, confusion in the use of pronouns. All these things we count when they are marking your essays under mechanical accuracy. I know mechanical accuracy, when you make a mistake, you have grammatical or spelling errors or punctuation errors, the examiner will ring, and each ring is minus half a mark. So you can imagine if the scores for the mark for mechanical accuracy is 10, and the examiner counts like 20 rings, well, that means you have already scored 0/10. So be careful when you are writing your essays, so that you don't find yourself losing marks. So for punctuation errors, avoid omission of or wrong use of the full stop, the question mark, quotation mark. Many of you will ask questions, you don't put a question mark. You are finished writing your sentence, you don't put a full stop. All those things we put into consideration. Insertion of pronoun in between adjective and noun. The use of small letter for the pronoun I. Anywhere you find pronoun I, it is always in capital letter. So all those things will be put into consideration and marked. And then for spelling errors, avoid using words that you cannot spell. Many of you like to impress the examiners. You like to use those jaw-breaking words. You believe that when you use such jaw-breaking words, the examiner will say, this candidate is very, very serious. No. You use those words, and then after writing your essay, because you cannot spell those words, you don't continue and leave that space. And it's possible at the end of your exam, you might not be able to find the correct spelling. It makes the whole sentence, that paragraph, useless. It does not make any meaning. The examiner knows the meaning, but it's not going to help you out. You are not going to be there when your script will be marked. And so to avoid all these things, pick those simple words that you can spell that mean the same thing as what you want to write there. The British and American spellings are accepted, but you must be consistent in their usage. Don't use British and American together. If you're going to use British, use it throughout. If you're going to use American spelling, use the American spelling throughout. So in conclusion, to score high marks, you must use the correct format, the correct features for essay topics. Understand the demands of the question and the questions you know, and answer the questions that you know best. It is advisable you pick the questions on the informal letter writing because it is flexible and the points are easy to assess. When writing your essays, you must begin your essay by having an outline of your points. These outlines you will develop in the body of your essay in well laid out paragraphs. And also take note on how your essays will be marked, what we discussed earlier, that is the content, organization, expression, and mechanical accuracy. Having taken the aforementioned into consideration, and after writing your essay, proofread your essay. Why do you proofread? Nobody's above mistakes. To check for grammatical and other errors, so that you can make necessary corrections before you submit your essay finally. In an earlier video, I had talked about how questions are set on essays. If you have not watched that video, watch the video for better understanding of the types of questions to expect in your essay exams. See you in my next video. Like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Remember, what you write in your essay will determine your scores. Good luck and bye.